Well, hi everyone. Carrie from kDS Insurance Services. How are you on this first Friday of April 2024? I wanted to pop in today and sort of give you a little bit of an update on the market and what's happening in the world of insurance. Everybody knows that we're in a new administration and there's lots of things changing, hopefully all for the good. And I am seeing some small positive signs already, but I do want to just get a video out of caution today. I'm doing a lot of requotes right now for everybody, which is great. They are very time consuming. A lot of carriers now have changed their underwriting processes where before pretty much COVID, I could go to 20 carriers and I could have 20 quotes back on the auto and the homeowner side or anything else that we were quoting. Now we might have 10 carriers, and of those 10, 6 want a pre-approval process for both auto and home. Meaning I can't actually get instantaneous quotes. I have to submit a pre-approval to the carrier based upon what their requirements are, and then they do their processing, and then I get back a yes or a no, and with the yes I'd get a quote. So the instantaneous process of quoting has changed drastically. And I don't see that changing this year. A lot of the carriers, especially on the home side, in the high risk areas, the Houston area, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, both of which I have a significant amount of customers, a lot of these carriers are still wanting to do pre-approvals. They want to inspect the house virtually or in person before they're willing to allow me to write the insurance. Or they want to see that in addition to additional documentation. So the ability for me to get instantaneous quotes has drastically changed and diminished since COVID. And then after COVID, because of the market and how bad the insurance market has become based upon our economy, that has also changed and taken away the ability for me to actually quote and get instantaneous quotes. That was my husband, by the way. That was Bill. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention that there are a lot of carriers now that I can't get an immediate quote for. I've got to submit everything and then wait on them. And as with any customer service in the market today, nothing is fast. Everything is extremely slow. So I have to wait. I have to wait to get back the things that you are waiting on, a quote. That's the first thing I want to explain, that they're especially on the homeowner side, but there are carriers that are actually doing this on the auto side. Progressive comes immediately to mind. Safeco comes to mind. Travelers and Nationwide are all doing this pre-approval process, and Mercury's another one. And these can take up to 15 calendar days to be approved. So if you request a quote from me and I get a good indication that one of those carriers is gonna be willing to give you a quote, and it could be good, I then have to let you know that I might not hear anything for 15 working days. Okay, so that could run into 2-3 weeks. So it's just that the processing has changed in the marketplace due to the economy and a lot of other things. COVID is another big factor, and so we are still fighting this in the industry today. The process for me to quote a home and an auto, for example, is going to take me 2 to 3 days. It is a very time-consuming process because I want to make sure that I'm not missing a carrier that could potentially save you money. I can just go to one carrier and get a quote, and if it saves you money, great. If it doesn't, then you'll probably need to go somewhere else. So I don't want to lose your business. So when I quote a renewal, just like at new business, somebody that comes to me new, I check every single carrier to see if they are offering insurance in your zip code. Then I go through the process of quoting it for you. And this is time consuming. It's taking me 2 to 3 days per client to get through all of the carriers to find better rates for you. So please understand that. And I take these requests in chronological order. I have an ongoing list, and everybody that asks me to get a quote, they go on the list, and I take those as I get them. So you may call me on a Monday and I put you on the list, but I may not get to you until Wednesday or Thursday. So the whole purpose by saying this is so you know to be looking for your renewals, because you're going to get them before I do. Look for your renewals in your email or in your mail. And if it is, because it's going to be 45 days from your expiration date, so if you renew in June, you should have it pretty soon, if not already. And if it's not okay and you don't accept the rate, I need to hear from you now. I need you to call me now and say, Carrie, I need you to reshop auto and home or whatever it is. And then I'm going to put you on that list, and I'm going to work that list based upon who calls me first. It's the only fair way for me to make sure that I'm getting everybody's requests done. It's just very time consuming. So please allow for that. If you've got a renewal and it's Tuesday, the likelihood of me getting to it is almost none, because right now there are 9 people on the list. I can't just stop what I'm doing because that's not fair. I have to do this in the order that it's received. And you're probably asking yourself, well, why don't you hire somebody else? Well, believe me, I have looked. I just cannot find somebody, frankly, that I trust enough with your personal information to do this. It is a very sensitive process. It has your driver's license, your date of birth, your social security number. So I'm just not going to hire anybody. And if I don't feel 100% confident that your information is going to be safe, or that they can do the job correctly without making a mistake, then I'm not going to hire anybody. I would rather do it myself and know that it's done right, that you have accurate quotes, accurate information, than to just rush through it, give you out wrong information, and then something happens and you get a denied claim or completely wrong information. It's just not worth it at this point. Now, maybe towards the middle of the end of this year, I might reevaluate that. But at this moment, I'm just not comfortable with anybody that I have interviewed, and I'm not just going to settle when I'm not 100% confident in their skill set and their ability, because you demand that of me, and I demand that of myself, and your protection has to come first in every decision that I make. That may change, but we'll just have to, it's just a waiting game at this point. Maybe somebody will come along that has the necessary skill set that I feel comfortable enough to hire them and then give them access to your information. I did want to just let you know what's been going on with me. If you have left a message, I've had all sorts of technical problems. AT&T is my provider. They have completely updated their whatever they put out in the world today. I don't know what it is. I don't know how it works. I'm completely illiterate when it comes to the technology. But my systems have been very unstable for about 3 weeks now. I completely replaced the security measures and my servers in February. And for some reason, there has been some sort of technological miscommunication between the AT&T systems and my new security measures, which are in place to protect your information and my information. In this world of fraud, it is so important to have very, very high-tech security measures, because everything that I do for you is done on the internet. And so I have to make sure that I am secure and safe at all times when I'm quoting or doing changes or really even talking to you, because my phone systems are what is called a VoIP, or voice over IP address. And so those have to be world-class secure. That's why my email address is so long, because I'm now actually on a Microsoft server, which is extremely high tech and has very, very good security measures. So if you have missed something, if you've sent me a message and I haven't responded, or if you've left me a voicemail and I haven't responded as of this video, please reach out to me, because there could be a situation where something was sent or you left a message and it didn't go through because of the technological problems I've had in the last month. I also wanted to give you an update on me personally. In December, I had shoulder replacement surgery, and unfortunately, I found out second week in February that that replacement completely failed, meaning the hardware that was put in to replace my original shoulder failed, and I had to go back in and have that removed, and then the shoulder was completely reconstructed with new hardware. So I've had 2 major replacements since December the 11th, and it has been very difficult. It is very difficult because it is my right shoulder, is my dominant side. And so really anything has been very, very difficult since December. So my normal processing times, which I pride myself on the day or the next day, have been pushed a little because I just physically have not been well. And I have been in recovery. So if you have felt a slowdown, that is the reason why. Between the technological problems I've had and my own physical problems, there has been a slowdown in the turnaround of your requests. So I appreciate your patience in that. If something is missing and you've requested something and I haven't got back to you, please, please, please either send me an email, because that is the most secure method, or a text message to my cell phone, which is 817-694-0053. You can always send me a text message or leave me a voicemail. 3 ways: email, text message, or voicemail. And please remember, if you have changes that need to be made, a new car, an address, driver, whatever, and we're actually changing your insurance, I cannot accept, for compliance purposes, voicemail messages. I do either need to have an email or a text message. I would much rather an email, however, or I have to actually speak to you. So email or speaking to you, please, if you have any sort of changes or requests that you need, certificates, whatever, to ensure that I get it and that I can process it for you. That's really it. And I also wanted to remind you, we are definitely in spring. Spring storms are here. They are always to be taken seriously. Get everything out of the way of your house. Don't have anything leaning up against your house. Make sure your trees are trimmed. You don't want to give the insurance company any reason to deny your claims. Okay? They do that well enough without us giving them any other reasons to deny your claim. So make sure nothing's leaning on your house. Make sure there's no branches within 15 feet of your house. and just check your property, okay? Because the last thing I would want is a major spring storm to come in, we get high winds, and something is picked up and thrown into your house or into somebody else's house or into a car or, God forbid, into a person, and it comes from your property. So be very, very aware that spring storms are here, and you need to take the necessary steps to get your property ready for those spring storms. And check your renewals. Please, please, please check your renewals. You get them normally 45 days from your expiration date. So if they renew June 1st, you should be getting them anytime if you don't already have them. And a lot of times I don't get them. Not every carrier sends them or posts them. So please make sure you're checking your emails and checking your mails. Your mail service. And you all should have the ability for all of your policies to go to the carrier website, set up an online account, and you should be able to get access to your documents 24 hours a day. If you don't have that, you should probably call the carrier and find out how to do that. 99% of them have that capability. So for example, if you go on a Saturday to buy a car and you don't have your ID card, you should be able to log into the website, show the dealership that you have insurance, because I don't work on the weekends, as documentation that you can actually buy a car if you decided you wanted to buy it over the weekend, because you can do that. Also remember, if you do buy a car over the weekend, you need to reach out to me as soon as possible, but legally you have 30 days in the state of Texas. I don't want you waiting 30 days because when I go to add the vehicle, I'm going to add it the day you purchased it. So then you're going to have to make up that premium. So call me as soon as possible to make that change. Some of the carriers now are actually allowing you to do that, and I'm okay with that, but make sure if you do that you get some sort of documentation saved on your side for that change. Because when I make a change, a copy is always printed and put in your file. That is how I can always go back and check to make sure that if I submit something to a carrier and it doesn't get done, which happens way too often, I have documentation that I actually submitted it on your behalf, and then the carriers have to backdate a change request. Office hours, phone lines are open 10 to 4, Monday through Friday. I don't work 10 to 4. I work basically 24 hours a day. I'm not available on the weekends though, or after 5 o'clock or before 9 o'clock. That is my time to get everything done for you. So just kind of remember that if you don't mind. And please remember, all changes have to either be by email or I have to speak to you. Please do not leave them on the phone and do not text message. You can send me a message and say, Carrie, I need to talk to you, but don't leave the actual change on my voicemail because that is non-compliant and the insurance companies will not honor those requests. So just FYI. And that's really it today. I just kind of wanted to touch base with you and wish you a happy spring. Things are changing. I do feel like towards the end of this year, we're going to see some improvement. I've actually had last month and this month, I've actually had about 6 clients that have had a reduction in their rate on their auto. Praise the Lord. Hopefully we're going to see that continue. I do think it's going to take a lot longer on the home side if we ever get there. But I do think this massive buildup that we have seen over the last 3 years, I think we have hit that plateau, and I think things are going to start leveling off. And I think the carriers are realizing they're going to have to come up with other ways for us as agents to give you more discounts so you can control premiums. One more thing before I forget. Deductibles are very important in the insurance world today. I've been doing this for 43 years, and I'm going to tell you as your agent, always take a higher deductible if you can, because when you take a higher deductible, you are going to have lower premiums. The difference is you are taking on that responsibility, or you are self-insuring. So you have a home and you have let's just use round numbers, okay? You have $1,000 deductible, which is not applicable anymore, but this is just for example. You have a $1,000 deductible and you pay $2,000 a year. If you take a $3,000 deductible, you may pay $1,500 a year. You're lowering your premium by accepting more of the responsibility. And I'm always going to encourage you to do that, because then you're keeping your money in your pocket and you're not giving it to the insurance company just to have a lower deductible. Keep your money in your pocket. You decide when you want to turn in a claim, and just know whatever that deductible is your self-insured amount. Also, all carriers in the state of Texas, in the weather-related centers, North Texas and the Houston area and South Texas, they are all going to require now a 3% wind and hail deductible. So if your house is insured for $100,000, a 3% deductible is going to be $3,000. Okay, that's how that works. The days of a $1,000 deductible, or a 1% deductible, or a 2% deductible, they are fast being eliminated. So when I shop an insurance rate for you on your home, more than likely it's going to be a 3% wind and hail deductible. So just be aware of that. It is a trend that is happening in Dallas, Fort Worth, and the Houston area. Galveston and South Texas areas now are all 3%, if we can even find the carrier in those areas, because a lot of the carriers left the market in the last 3 years. They're coming back slowly, but it is a very slow process. I think within a year, we will have a significant amount of carriers back in our market, but it's a slow process. They are watching the administration, and they are watching what is happening with our economic situation, and it's all good signs. So we just have to be a little bit more patient, and I think things are starting to plateau, where we don't see these crazy giant $3,000 and $4,000 jumps, especially on our home. So God bless you. Thank you so very much for your business. I know you have a choice. I appreciate your loyalty more than I could express. We are heading into our 14th year here at kDS Insurance Services, and you are the reason I do what I do. So, and remember, I offer all lines of insurance here: boats, motorcycles, RVs, life insurance, health insurance, death benefits, disability insurance, long-term care insurance, children's insurance. Even soon, I'm going to be making available debt elimination insurance. And Medicare supplements and Medicare. So I'm a one-stop shop for everything. So if you don't have multiple lines with me, give me a call, and I would love the opportunity to help save you some money in some other areas. And the last thing to remind you guys of is our referral program. Anytime you refer somebody to me and they secure an actual quote, I will send you out a $10 gift card. And it will either be Starbucks or HEB, one of the two. If neither of those are anywhere near you, let me know once you refer somebody to me, and I'll figure out another gift card. There's no limit on it. You can use it as many times, because I need referrals. That's how I grow my business, and it is a way for me to say thank you for referring somebody to me. $10 gift card for each person that you send to me, and there's no limit. So let me know. I need referrals, so I look forward to those. Thank you again for your business, and I'm here to help you. Never forget that. And I want to hear from you. So if there's something else that I can help you with, please let me know. Office lines in North Texas, 817-374-4477. In the Houston Exchange, it's 832-391-8271. Email hasn't changed. Phone lines are Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and I am available. So let me hear from you. God bless everybody. I hope that we have a safe spring. Be prepared, because hurricane season is right around the corner. And from all indications, it's going to be a doozy this year. So let's make sure that we are all prepared. God bless everybody. Thanks again for being loyal customers. And I look forward to talking to each and every one of you. Have a blessed day. And God bless this great country that we live in. Bye-bye.